What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, managing editor, FightfulWrestling.com. Well, we're back on YouTube. Kind of. And we are joined by YouTube success story Denise Salcedo. Doesn't have to deal with these problems. What's going on here? West Coast bias.
What do you mean? Wait, West Coast bias?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? That's a thing?
So it's a thing now.
It's a thing now. Okay.
If you guys are watching here live, you are on the MMA channel, youtube.com/FightfulMMA Boxing, which actually had its live streaming disabled in the same manner earlier this month due to a bunk copyright claim, which was mysteriously just lifted today after 2 rejected counter notifications. It's weird how that works, but we're back here. Hopefully we'll get the wrestling channel up and running ASAP. I'm working really hard, talking to a lot of great people about this. But if you ever want to find out where the podcast is, just go to Fightful.com. It's always there. No matter the platform we're streaming on, Fightful.com will have it, whether it's on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. If we have to get tout, then it'll be on there. It does not matter. That's where it'll be. But hey, go ahead.
There's nothing scarier than having a strike on your YouTube account, by the way. It is so scary.
How about 2? I was 1 away because WWE had claimed 2 things apparently. I fought 1, got it off of there. Hopefully we have our live streaming back ASAP. People say, Sean, you're very bright tonight. Yeah, I'm still getting used to my light. I'm trying to get that Denise Salcedo lighting going on here, but I'm not quite used to it yet. We'll work on it. But yeah, leave a thumbs up, subscribe. If you like MMA and boxing, hey, subscribe to our channel over here. But this does effectively serve as our backup channel as well for live streaming. You can send super chats here, and you better believe we need them. Get your statements and questions read on the air. Tim Travers said, want to say, Fightful, I'm blessing you all. What the F, YouTube? Yeah, no kidding. Bad News Burke says, free the Fightful. That's what I'm talking about. Hannah Morse.
Start the hashtag, man.
Yeah.
Start the hashtag.
If you all want to check out my pinned tweet on Twitter, it'll kind of give you the rundown of the confusing situation we're going through. I will not bore you guys with that now. I'll do a video on that on YouTube this week. But if you want to support us, the most direct way is Fightful Select. I mentioned that last night. Head over there and subscribe there, and you're going to get dozens of podcasts a month. And I'm just posting nonstop exclusive news over there. Hannah Moore, who was in Chicago for SmackDown TakeOver and Survivor Series, says, Raw was way better than SmackDown, and I'm annoyed. Denise, I agree with that. I thought Raw was pretty good tonight.
Raw was really good today. I thought that it was very strong. Like the top, right off the bat, there was lots to talk about with what would happen, and I know we'll get into that later. But I thought that the middle chunk of Raw was really good, and I feel like that's always not the case. But today, overall, it was a strong show, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. This was just, I thought, exceptional, top to bottom, pretty good. It's hard to make a great 3-hour wrestling show. It really, especially in an episodic format, and one that makes sense. I mean, I harp on WWE a lot for that, but it's not exactly easy to make sense all the time in situations that they face. But they got to do a better job than what they had been doing, and I thought they did do a better job. I thought they did exceptionally. We have a couple more super chats. Shane Haas, big thank you for that big super chat. $20 Canadian, which is about $1.25 American. If my calculations are correct.
Is that really the
No.
for that?
It's about 75%. I just like to bust Canadians' balls because Canadians pay us. So, but Shane Haas says, thank you, Fightful. Appreciate all you do. Any chance you're going to do an anti-shield with AOP and Seth? We're going to talk about this more, Denise. I always thought the answer to the Shield would have been Samoa Joe and AOP. I thought they would have been the perfect trio to do that with. But you know what? Seth and AOP, not a bad consolation, I don't think.
It really isn't. And I think that, once we talk about it more later, I just feel like that we got the tease today. And I think it's something that everybody is on board with and kind of waiting to happen. And I kind of just want to see it happen in its own, progressive way, not too fast. I like the tease, let's kind of like enjoy the ride with that.
Yeah. Eloquent says, do the Bengals win a single game this season? No, probably not. I thought they were going to win yesterday, but they're taking more L's than the Fightful YouTube channel. Young Bibby says, who do you think will be Bray's new member of the Firefly Funhouse? Or who do you think it would be? I don't know. What can Bray add?
They can add lots of stuff. I was just seeing right now on Twitter that people were saying that it might be Liv Morgan. So I saw that as a theory. But other than that, I'm like, okay, that would be pretty cool. And but I just feel like it could be really anything, or anybody.
Maybe a goat. They had a lot of that symbolism with with Daniel Bryan, but Liv Morgan is technically on the Raw roster. Not like that's ever mattered to them in the past, but
Well, that could come along with like the new revamped look. No, not really, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Avery Dunn says, I'm here for heel Seth and face Owens in the main event. Let's get right into it. Our super chats have finally slowed down a little bit. Seth Rollins gives the famed rah-rah speech, and I loved it, Denise. You get CM Punk chants right out of the gate, and he says, I tried to get him here, but he's busy sitting behind a desk in L.A. talking about change that he's too afraid to make. Ooh, I thought that was a good line, Denise.
I thought, okay, so it's funny because as they were doing this, I thought it would be hilarious if they just casually somewhere in there, whether it was like in commentary afterwards or whenever, if they added the term rah rah in there, because I would have like died of laughter. But other than that, I thought to myself that this was very good. It felt like, people have been wanting to, boo Seth Rollins. We don't want to be on Seth Rollins' side. He hasn't been getting over with the fans, hasn't been really connecting as what he has been saying in his promos hasn't been connecting with the audience. But today it was kind of like, okay, he was coming out here and he was blaming everybody, even though he was at a loss too. But the part that he was being like such a, like you messed up and you you guys should have done better. And where were you guys at? And I love Raw and I've been such a fan and you guys all failed us. It just made you want to hate him like more. And I thought that was actually good, obviously, with this. So this was definitely a really good heel promo, I think. And I liked how the roster was kind of like, dude, like, screw this guy. We're leaving. Like, forget what you're saying, that sort of thing. The crowd was really hot for it. And I feel that now, people have been, like, asking themselves, like, whether or not CM Punk is actually going to be, coming out, Raw or SmackDown or whatever, and to have an actual match and not just be on the backstage show. But I feel that now that CM Punk, made that comment about Seth Rollins on the show, and Seth Rollins is making, a comment about him live on television, it would be foolish if not for that never to happen. And so I kind of got like, that was obviously a tease. I thought that the crowd like really ate it up and they're like, yes, like, can it happen tonight? No, but that's okay because it still worked and it was very strong. And I thought that a lot of things that Seth Rollins said during this were hilarious. He had a lot of really good lines, like when he did. What is it? I think he called Dominic stupid or something.
Yes.
I don't even know, but that was so funny.
Oh, I loved it. It was just really, really good. He says that Team Raw sucked last night. Randy Orton is the weak link, and he leaves. Criticizes Charlotte Flair, who was perfect with her facial expressions and just kind of like dismissing him. And he said, I thought you were a Flair. And he takes a shot at AOP. Now, Dave Schilling, who wrote for WWE very briefly and worked for Vice and has done a lot of great stuff. He appeared on our post-show for the AEW pay-per-view. And I've never watched Watchmen. It's not my type of show, but he said something that I agreed with. He was like, this show rewards you for paying attention, and WWE almost punishes you for paying attention. And what I appreciated about tonight's Raw is that couldn't have been more different. If you paid attention, you saw what Rollins said to AOP. You saw it, and it paid off at the end. And I really liked that. This was perfect for Seth Rollins. This is the edge that I've wanted to see out of him for so long. And we finally got it. Kevin Owens pops up. And I love that he didn't stop there. He's like, Owens, you're lazy. You just show up. It's Mr. NXT. Ooh, this was good. Also, Owens using the stunner on Rollins was also good. This is Rollins acting just like he has been in interviews and social media for a long time.
And he feels cool when he's saying, like, later on, he had a really good promo where he feels cool. It doesn't feel like force. I hate to say it, but it doesn't feel like when Seth Rollins was trying to get over with these things. When Kevin Owens was doing it, it felt like, you want to get behind him. You want to be his friend. And while he's saying these things, and you're like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, let's be friends. We're on the good side here.
Yeah, this was just an outstanding opening segment that I adored. Hannah Moore said, here's another super chat just for your great title to this stream. Yeah, my stream title was Fightful's post WWE Raw podcast that is actually people talking and not the show itself. I didn't want to leave any confusion, as apparently WWE reads WWE Survivor Series 19 and don't listen to what it says afterwards, which is review and results, Fightful Wrestling podcast. That's peak lazy right there. We see Rusev. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was like, I've had a video flagged in the past from WWE just for it saying highlights.
My
God. I had the keyword highlights. That one got flagged too.
It's good for SEO. If you all ever wonder why people do that and it will put like full show review instead of show review, it's because it's really good for SEO, because people are on YouTube looking for the full show or looking for highlights the next day. They might see your video and say, hey, let me check that out while I'm there. It's just common sense, good for SEO. We see Rusev being served with papers by someone posing as a fan. I thought this was clever. What did you think of this?
But they were thinking, like, they were saying, like, he was a young fan, like, kind of saying, like, he was a little kid. But this guy was, like, not a little kid. I was like, wait, what? He's not a little kid. But the way they made it seem was pretty funny.
No, he said it was for his kid.
Oh, for his kid?
Yeah.
Okay, I understood that he was that they were saying, like, oh, yeah, it's for his kid. And then Rusev was like, oh, he's just a kid. Like, let him come through. And then it was, like, this man. Okay, so I totally misread that. But I thought that was funny because that's usually how I've, like, seen it on television shows where, like, oh, somebody's going to get, like, you know, served, but they do it in a clever way so that you don't, like, you actually take the papers. Yeah. So I thought that was funny.
So Lashley is facing Titus O'Neil, who was past his prime in the ring. I get that at least they got him on screen here, because otherwise I'm like, why did he get drafted? Why didn't he just sign with somebody? And there was a pretty nasty looking spot that Lashley recovered and hit a really good looking spine buster on, but Rusev runs out in a tracksuit, which is amazing.
A green tracksuit, right?
It's that European stereotype. They're just playing right into it. And then he takes it off and he's got a Dim Mock shirt on. Do you know what Dim Mock is?
No.
It's the death touch. Like,
what does that mean?
Truly, it means absolutely nothing. Like, there are people that say that they practice Dim Mock. Like, there was a guy locally in our town who said that he was a Dim Mock practitioner and then would say that he trained with our fight team. And we're like, no, you don't. You've never been here. And then we got him to come to a grappling tournament at our gym, and he wrestled our wrestling coach and tried to, like, poke him in the neck. It did not go well. It did not go well at all. He got dumped on his head and tapped out. So Rusev is, like, sarcastically wearing and, like, referencing Dim Mock all the time. It's in his Twitter bio. It's in his tweets. And now he's wearing a Dim Mock shirt. I'm digging it. I hope he starts doing the death touch.
I didn't know, like, anything about that, so I had no idea, but that's, like, really interesting.
Oh, yeah, it's complete horseshit, but it's great. Maybe I might post the video of the guy getting tapped out by our wrestling coach. It was pretty fantastic. But before Rusev can put Lashley through a table, Rusev gets arrested, and the cops looked real. It seemed real. I mean, we know it's not real. It's a part of the show, but it seemed less manufactured than other times when you know you've got wrestling trainees out there. And then Rusev he knocks Lashley off the stage through a table and kicks a lighting truss onto him.
That was the best part. I feel like, okay, so when he came out and he started beating up on Bobby Lashley, I kind of felt like, oh, well, this is kind of lame. You know, he's doing it in such a lame way. You know, this guy is messing with my wife. I'm going to, like, want to get him with, like, the most violent weapons. I'm going to be, like, more, like, savage, right? But then when they get towards the stage and he throws him off, that after he threw him off and he threw the post down, I felt that you can see, like, this wicked, like, he had this laugh where it was, like, maniacal, and he was like, yes, like, I finally got it and got him. And I felt that once we actually saw that part and saw that expression on his face, I felt that was actually the best part of the whole thing, because it really felt more real in the sense where, okay, this guy's pissed, this guy's sleeping with his wife, and, you know, they've been making his life a living hell. This is the way that, you know, a man brings down another man for doing such a thing. And then I did see that they did like a post video on their YouTube channel, and the thumbnail is hilarious because it's just Rusev being arrested and he has like this big smile on his face, and that was enough for me.
Hannah Moore says Mustafa Ali said he would call in some favors. Mustafa Ali, former Chicago police officer. I dig that. You mentioned like that's how one man takes another man down. I'll tell you what, if your man is down, you need to check out BlueChew.com, code Fightful. Maybe your live stream has been disabled, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe you're looking for a little help and you're getting the runaround. BlueChew.com will make sure your penis is very hard. But you got to have a prescription for this stuff. But here's the good deal. It's prescribed online, shipped straight to your door. It's better, it's cheaper, it's faster, it's chewable. So it gets into your system faster. You can take it on an empty stomach, a full stomach. You know, you're going to have an empty stomach at about 4:59 on Thursday. 5:01, you'll be full. Doesn't matter. You'll take Blue Chew, you're good to go. Give somebody else some stuffing this week with BlueChew.com, code Fightful. Like I said, prescribed online, so you don't have to wait in line at the doctor. It's delivered to you discreetly. BlueChew.com, code Fightful. And you get it for free when you use that code. Just pay $5 shipping. $5 shipping, that's it. And it's free. You know they expect you to come back for more. And so will she. BlueChew.com, code Fightful. Tank Bearclaw says, on the WWE YouTube thing, Rusev asked one cop if he celebrates Rusev Day, and then said, everyone celebrates Rusev Day. I hate the storyline in totality. Tonight, I thought it was awesome. I thought they knocked it out of the park from start to finish. From the papers being served, I thought that was clever. From the little match, you got Titus on screen. You made Bobby Lashley beat him up. Then Rusev came out and had a good segment there. It sounds like they're doing good stuff with digital. And Rusev got a great reaction. Denise, I thought they did awesome with this.
Yeah, like it wasn't too much. It wasn't anything like weird or bizarre where you're like, why am I watching this? Like, I hope no one sees me watching this right now. You know, it was perfectly fine with what they did, and it didn't, take over the entire show like it has in the past or anything like that. So overall, I think, yeah, I like the ending of that beatdown and the fact that, I liked when Lana was like, you broke the law. And then there was the part where she had that backstage interview with Charlie. And my favorite part was when she would say, my Bobby. Bobby.
My Bobby.
that was like the best thing. But it's funny because I don't get why she still says Rusev's name with an accent.
It's great. I love it. I think it's funny.
Like, Rusev. Like everything else is fine, but it's Rusev. But anyway, so I just died with just my Bobby.
I love that she still says that with the dialect. It's pretty good. Young Bibby says, who do you see Bayley's next challenger being? It's kind of, I don't want to say slim pickings over there, because Sonya or Mandy could do it. Nikki Cross already had her go at it. It ain't going to be Tamina. I don't think it'll be Lacey Evans, because she's a heel. But Lacey Evans could say, hey, I pinned Charlotte Flair, yada, yada. Carmella makes a lot of sense to me to bridge the gap between now and Royal Rumble, because Carmella does have a history with Bayley. They got the whole Baymella thing from whatever the show that the NXT show, whatever it may be. But they can reference that. They can Breaking Ground is what it was. They can reference that. They can reference how Bayley kind of turned on Carmella. But who do you think it would be, Denise?
I kind of like the whole idea of Mandy just because it's someone new, something refreshing. And it's funny because I remember talking to her, was it last year? Yeah, last year's Hall of Fame. And one of the things that she said was that she felt the company was putting the wrong equity on the wrong blonde when she was actually referring to Lacey Evans at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's crazy how much fan support she has, and I was able to see the back end of this, and that's how I kind of always tell like who is like really popular and who isn't based on how their videos do.
Yeah.
And the sort of fan interaction. And one of the things I noticed about her was that she had like this big fan interaction, and I was like, you know what, like we could see her doing something like this. And I just feel like with me, yeah, Carmella's a good story, and I like Carmella, but I think like I kind of seen there, been there, done that. I think I'm ready for something different.
AOP squashed Hawkins and Ryder. Now, they had taken out Hawkins and Ryder last week. They do so effectively again tonight. Death Valley drivers into the corner. Not quite a super collider, maybe like a medium collider. They just ran the guys into each other. Then the powerbomb neck breaker. This is fine. AOP win. Helps set the stage a little bit more. But they put these guys on ice for an awful long time. They've both been healthy for over 5 months and didn't do anything. And this happened last year, too. Their last match on Raw, Denise, was them losing the tag titles last year. So 11 months.
11 months and nothing?
11 months and nothing. Now, one of them was hurt for several months, but they've both been good to go since June.
Well, I mean, we did have those, little vignettes that they were doing, which were fine. But then
Sure.
I know after a while, they were just like, okay, well, let's start seeing some action to those words. That's why I'm happy that now we're seeing this tease with Seth Rollins and with them possibly becoming a unit. That could be really fun, I think, because they can both complement each other very well, where it's kind of like, Seth Rollins has been through hell and back with the WWE Universe. They haven't always been on his side. And, AOP just wants to fight people. So, hey, let's join up.
Also, if you want somebody to complement your unit, use BlueChew.com, code FIGHTFUL. Andrade defeated Akira Tozawa. He got some brief offense in, but Andrade won with the Hammerlock DDT. He is unbeaten since joining Raw. I do not count that DQ last week or whatever that may be. So they're keeping him strong, and I think they should. You don't have the world title on the show, so a lot of people speculating that Andrade could be next in line for the U.S. title. I'm okay with giving him a win here. He's awesome. Sure, more of that.
Well, especially now with Rey, that could be a good combination there for sure.
Yeah. Matt Hardy's back, which finally, 3 months later, gosh, maybe even longer than that, gives me reason to release his interview that I did with him, like in Toronto. This is why I talk about evergreen topics, because you got a guy like Matt Hardy who's not on TV at all. His last match on cable TV was WrestleMania week when they won the tag titles. Also, his contract's up in about 3 months, maybe. So they're getting some jobbing out of him. He loses to Buddy Murphy. Hardy gets dropped into the turnbuckle. There's a side effect. Oh, Matt Hardy, he's 45. He ain't taking the Murphy's Law, so he eats a couple knees and he's pinned. I thought it was good to see Matt Hardy. It meant a little more than a run-of-the-mill win for Buddy Murphy. I like that, and then Murphy called out Alistair Black. But what do you think of Matt Hardy being back and the match that we saw?
It was funny because when the music hit, it took me a second. I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, I feel like, having him be back, it was like, okay, well, what are they going to do here? Like, are we going to be seeing him, in some sort of like storyline, like a big storyline or something? But from the looks of it, he's really just here to, help push forward some other storylines and maybe get some of the other guys over. And so I liked that because, it just kind of felt like, right, I kind of don't really see like him right now fitting into anything that's going on right now on Raw.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, Alistair Black comes out and beats Murphy's ass. Doesn't really shake Murphy at all. This match is going to rule. What I do want to see out of Alistair Black, though, is him to change things up a little bit. I saw him work the same match on the main roster the entire time that I had saw him like throughout the year. It was the same type of thing, and I think that Buddy Murphy will kind of encourage him to step out. Hopefully, we don't get any more of these closet promos. I'm over them. I'm done with them. I don't need them anymore, Denise.
I thought today, because they did that before this match, I thought, oh, is this going to be happening again? Like just this, So, and it was kind of funny when he said that, oh, because he's in the building that, now it's like, I forgot his exact wording for this, but now he said like he sees that like, as a challenge, like this is going to happen, even though he knocked on his door last week. So it was like really interesting, but I'm kind of over the whole, like even commentary was putting over the fact like, oh, he knocked on his door. I was like, I do not want to hear anything more about this door. Okay, yeah. Let's just let them go at it now. He's accepted his he's taken up a challenge with him. Let's just do it and go from there.
So by the way, guys, my Matt Hardy interview is up on youtube.com/Fightful. Go check that out. Quite frankly, I think the guy's leaving WWE. They extended Jeff's contract for a year due to injury time, and he's taking care of his problems right now, but Matt Hardy has always seemed like a creatively driven person. It's always seemed like the next gimmick, the next special thing is something for him. He had Mattitude back in the day. He had, my God, he had one of his hottest runs in '05 after the Lita thing that could have ended his career. He's done Big Money Matt, the Broken Matt, even the it's really hard to be Matt Hardy, or you don't know how hard it is to be Matt Hardy thing. Like, he's very good with this digital stuff. And on his YouTube, he drops a lot of hints, and there's a lot of stuff that you can read into. And WWE is just not the place to be if you want to be creative. And the thing is, if Matt Hardy leaves for 2 years and wants to come back, they're probably just going to re-sign him again. Like, that, they'll sign anybody that they think will make money for somebody else, which really seems like what they did, Denise. It seemed like they signed these guys so they wouldn't make money for somebody else. Do you see Matt Hardy leaving in a few months?
It's funny because I feel like Matt Hardy has, when he went back to WWE, I kind of felt that, he was hot with the whole, delete and all of that, and everything that he was doing with Impact was so wow. But then once it transferred over to WWE, like the whole argument of it being so overproduced. But I feel like Matt really wanted to have that moment for himself in WWE, whereas, obviously as the Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy was always, the more popular one. And I think in this sense, he kind of wanted to have something different, and maybe be the main focus. And I just feel like it kind of, it was hot for a minute, but then it went like downhill, went south, unfortunately. And, just never really came back up in that sense. And so now it's kind of like, well, what's left? They were able to do they were able to do this because they had already seen what he was doing prior. But now, like, let's say he were to have this whole new fresh idea, like, would that actually be moved forward on the show, because, so many people have ideas for their characters or storylines or whatever, but those don't always get put into execution. So, I see him leaving if he wants to continue doing something different and something more creative, but I can see him staying if he's like, hey, I'm getting older and I really just want a nice paycheck.
If he wants to pick up that $500,000 a year, $750,000 a year, and not work a ton, that I'm not gonna fault him for taking that gig. But when I see him creating new content on YouTube while he's off TV, that makes me think that he wants to be creative. And the thing is, he had an all-time WrestleMania moment when they came back. One of the most viewed videos WWE had of that entire year. It was amazing. He was able to do the deletion spot on WWE, and I think it main evented the show. That's very cool. Then he was able to come back this year, win the titles again, maybe for the last time with his brother after WrestleMania. I'm like, man, what else is there for him that they will realistically do? Because I don't know what else they would realistically do with him. But I've got my eye on his web series, and
I feel like he could even like do so much more in terms of like, helping other people, get creative, since obviously that's something that he has and a passion that he has. So, he could even, do like more behind the scenes stuff, and help, wherever it may be with whatever promotion it may be at. And, during this time when they came back, AEW wasn't like really, a thing yet. And so now the whole like money thing is, it's there. So this is going to be a good time for him to, sort of cash in, if you want to say it like that.
Young Bibby, thank you for the super chat and for all of yours, buddy. You send a lot of them. He says, what do you think of the future of Alexa Bliss is? She tends to be very injury prone, maybe a manager. I think she'd be awesome as a manager, especially if you have somebody on the women's roster that doesn't talk as well as she does. I think she'd be great there. I think she'd be good on WWE Backstage. I think she'd be good as an authority figure if we ever had to go there. I think she'd be good as Moment of Bliss host. I don't know about commentary, but I think a role that she and Paige should both be involved in is some sort of creative consultant or creatively. Because not only do I think they need more female voices, they need more young female voices. They need more female voices who have been there, done that, and been to the mountaintop of WWE. There's not a lot that those two women haven't already done in WWE. If Alexa's career ended tomorrow, you'd be like, damn, she did a whole lot in a brief amount of time. I think that both of those women are infinitely useful, Denise. What do you think?
Okay, so first of all, I love Alexa Bliss. You know, I think for me, it takes a lot for me to become a fan of somebody, for me to become like a serious like fan, like and for Alexa Bliss, I felt that she was one of the few women at the time when she came up that was really captivating me with her persona, her charisma, and how she spoke on the mic, and just like everything from her facial expressions to everything that
Oh,
she
yeah.
was doing out there. It was just always so clear, so concise. She knew who she was out there and she knew the job that she had to get done. And, you know, I kind of felt that, you know, given how she had this huge, you know, boost in her career during, you know, when she went up to the main roster, I would have seen her like in that moment. I would have seen her in the Becky Lynch spot. You know, where Becky Lynch is right now, that's where I would have seen Alexa Bliss. So I feel that because I haven't seen her in that spot and I feel like she could definitely be in that spot, you know, I just think that there's still, you know, so much more for her to do because I think she's just that capable of it. Now, of course, given injuries, you know, that can stop people obviously like Paige, who was also like that and could have easily been in those you know spots. But I just think that she still has like so much more left, like that she can do, not just, you know, behind the scenes or with the voice. And even then, like when she was doing the WrestleMania host thing, like she did that very well. And everything else that she has done has been very well. But I think even though I know she would be good in a manager role, I just think that it would be like not, it wouldn't be like something that I think she could really, really just really make it worthwhile.
Sonny Feliciano, thank you for this big super chat. I appreciate you, my friend. He said, just found the stream, starting from the top, sending my support. Been a fan since day one. Can't let Fightful down. Hey, we appreciate you. We're trying to do something different here. We want to have a variety of voices. We want to have honest news. We want to give everybody a chance and be fair and all that stuff. And don't like it necessarily when YouTube yanks our stuff down. We've not bought a single follower. We've not bought a single like. We've not bought any subscriptions. We don't do that type of thing. And that was an option presented to us early, and I wanted to build everything organically, so it is very frustrating when that happens. But thank you so much, Sonny. I really appreciate that. Top contender for the U.S. title. Well, why is that? Because we were supposed to have a U.S. title match between Humberto Carrillo and AJ Styles, but Carrillo gets attacked by the OC. And I say blessing in disguise, Denise, because I did not need to see this again.
You think they're trying to make him get really upset now because, you know, it seems like Humberto needs something like, yeah, he has like, they're kind of building him up like he's the kid that got really lucky and got put into these really great matches, dream come true kind of thing. But now he has to show that he really wants it. And from right now with him not getting any wins, it's kind of like, okay, well, what's going to push him over the edge? Is this beatdown going to push him over the edge where, you know, they essentially ruined his, you know, his match, his title shot, his opportunity? So, you know, what's going to happen next? He needs to get mad now, I think.
I agree. Same thing, same issue I had with Seth Rollins, but to like a times 50. Humberto Carrillo does really cool moves, and that's it. I would love to see him just do something different. Just do something different. And
you mean Alberto? Is that
yes.
what AJ called him today?
Yes. So
I look forward to that now every week. What is AJ going to call him this week?
Oh my gosh, now that Styles and the OC get to talk, or even when they don't talk and they're just angry, I love it. Ricochet.
Oh, you like that? I didn't like that where he was just for before I heard his breaths, I thought, wait, is my thing on mute?
Yeah,
I thought
I did
phone
too.
was on mute for a second because it was just this long silence, and I was like, okay, let's get to it, guys. What's gonna happen here?
Well, Ricochet challenges Styles to a match, and I just love that Styles is like, well, no. And Orton tried to do the same. Drew McIntyre is out next, then Rey. AJ declines them all, and to me, it's very clear what this is, and I hate it because it happens every time. When Brock's the champion, you got to kill time, and like everybody goes after the U.S. title. And I had people say, yeah, well, it makes the U.S. title seem important. And I'm like, whoa. That's not a positive. Like, the U.S. title shouldn't need to seem important. The title's been around for 45 years. It should be important. Ric Flair, Sting, Bret Hart, like a lot of people have held this championship. Goldberg held this title. Like it should just be an important title at all times. It shouldn't need 4 people showing up to make you say, hey, I know we've had some guy who never wins challenging for this repeatedly, but here you go. Now care about this. People should always care about every title. Maybe an exception for the 24/7 title, because that is a comedy act.
You know, honestly, I see things totally different. So, you know, in WWE, speaking for WWE, actually, no, speaking in general, I do believe this. You know, they say that some people think that the belt makes the man. I think the man makes the belt. And I like firmly really believe that, because I just feel if the guy that's holding the belt makes that important, then it's important. If we can say all of these great things about the US title, all these people that held it, but if the person that's holding it right now is not, you know, giving it that extra something, that extra importance, then to me it's just like flop. So for me, it doesn't matter like if people are like, oh yeah, like this person held it. Yeah, it helps and all of that, but I just think that the person that's holding it right now is the person that makes the belt.
I think they just got to book it better. They got to make it special. John Cena made it really special with the open challenge and all that stuff. I just wish they would, and honestly, I think they need a redesign. What did you think of the Intercontinental title redesign?
I felt, you know, I didn't love it and I didn't hate it, you know? I was kind of indifferent toward it. I kind of felt it was a little clustered, you know? There was like so much happening in the middle, but I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I can't really say anything bad about it.
The thing is, like, I didn't see anybody asking for a redesign of it, which is interesting, because it is one of the most widely accepted, praised championships ever. The Intercontinental title design that's been around for outside of a 12-year stretch, the last few decades, and I didn't see anybody asking for a new one, but I didn't hate it either. As far as new designs go, I didn't dislike it. I like the tag belts the way they are, silver. But I think
because the plates were silver, right? Yeah, for the Intercontinental title. I'm still a bigger fan of the gold. Like, I like the gold. You can do the gold and the silver, but all silver for me kind of seems like plasticky. Seems like a toy.
Sure. But I think the U.S. title needs an update. It's been, 17 years. Outside of the Cena, the belt, which I love, the original Cena spinner belt. But, I would like I love the NWA United States title. It was a good-looking one, but let me know what you guys think in the comments, by the way. Whether it be on youtube.com/Fightful or Fightful MMA Boxing. That stuff helps us. It increases engagement and all that stuff. Also, please share this on Twitter, on social media, because we're having all these issues with the channels and stuff. It does affect our views. It does affect our numbers and all that. Jason,
you gotta do a Dear John letter to YouTube. When I was having troubles with YouTube, I did a Dear YouTube letter, and I swear a week later things were solved. I don't think it was a correlation. It was just good luck.
I wish. Jason Check says, wrestler does make the belt 100% on point. Young Bibby says, in my opinion, the women's tag title should be used as mid-carders. Charlotte and Becky don't need them. Also, what's your opinion on Andy Dalton? So as far as the tag titles, I think I agree with that. I don't mind it being used as a mid-card title, but also I don't mind it being used as titles that can shift people from brand to brand. If they want to, like, say they want to get Becky Lynch on SmackDown. If she wins the tag titles, cool, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with her jumping over there. I'm all right with that. Andy Dalton, I think, was a very, very good Bengals quarterback for a long time who did not get his due. And now he is just not good. He's not good anymore. He doesn't have a good offensive line. And it's time to move on. And it's unfortunate that he never got to win a playoff game. But far better than anybody ever gave him credit for. I will miss the AJ Green, Andy Dalton connection. So, we get a fatal 4-way match scheduled. Because apparently Ricochet can schedule matches. I don't agree with that. But I like that Gallows and Anderson were asked by AJ, and they're like, I kind of like it. It sounds like a good idea.
That reminded me of like when your friends really want to do something. You're like, dang, I don't really want to do it, but peer pressure. I don't want to be the uncool one. 2 out of 3. I got to do it now. Yeah. That was hilarious.
I really dug that. I do think they should have just said, They should have came back from commercial and said that the USA executives made this happen. Like, why not? But this wasn't exactly the pace of a lot of triple threat matches that we saw throughout this weekend. And we saw a lot of them, which is what kind of made me wonder if they needed to do a fatal four-way. Like, how many triple threat matches and elimination matches and people, like, matches did we see with all these people all weekend? And this one wasn't as great to me. I did love the Tower of Doom spot. Drew had to hang upside down forever and did a great one that was like a German suplex and a superplex. He did a great sit-down powerbomb on Ricochet. And then RKO on Drew, but the OC pull him out and attack. And Rey does a great springboard pin on Ricochet for the win. I didn't realize the title match was going to be immediately after, Denise.
Me either. I was like, oh, maybe I missed something. But I really, really liked this. Like, I loved the whole lead up to the four-way. I love the four-way. I love the Randy Drew moment. And I'm trying to figure out what is really happening with Randy Orton, because I kind of feel like he's all over the place right now. I'm like, who exactly is he feuding with? Because at one point I thought it was going to be him and Ricochet. Now I'm like, okay, maybe it's him and Drew.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so much going on with Orton right now. But the whole match itself, I really liked, and I don't know why, but I didn't see Rey winning, but obviously afterwards it made a whole lot of sense. But I guess for some reason I just thought, hey, they're probably just going to go a different direction, or maybe it just doesn't even matter because AJ Styles is going to win no matter what. So I didn't realize that they were going to be building up to a big moment.
Yeah, as far as Orton goes, I kind of like the shades of gray. I would like to see Randy Orton in a tag team at this point because I haven't seen that in such a long time. If it were Ricochet, I wouldn't mind it. I've always wanted like an angry old man tag team between him and Shelton Benjamin, where they're like, I'm sick of all these flips. I'm sick of all this shit that people are doing. Back when we were in OVW, we had to come up a lot tougher. We had to wrestle in Louisville. We didn't get to wrestle in Orlando. I would love them doing that because I think they could pull it off exceptionally well. And you want to talk about a boost to the tag team division. I would love to watch those two guys face the War Raiders or Viking Raiders or whatever the hell they can cook up.
I almost just feel Randy's at the phase where he's pretty much up for anything. He's like, I'll do it.
Signed a 5-year deal too, and from what I've been told, he loves helping out younger wrestlers. So that'd be cool. I'll tell you what was cool. This AJ Styles Rey Mysterio match. Rey Mysterio becomes the U.S. champion. Mysterio gets worked over hard and methodically. His knee gives out on a springboard, and the OC try to get involved, but they get tossed out. Styles ends up posting himself a couple times. Rey does a great flying senton, a code red, a 619. This is after AJ hit an Ushigoroshi, but AJ Styles is knocked into the ref. OC come out to help AJ, but Orton is in. We see a 619 and an RKO to Styles, and Mysterio wins the title. A little bit overbooked for me, but it's clear they're setting up Orton and Styles. There is no more rematch clause, which I love. Styles livid backstage. Rey Mysterio doing some of the best work of his career this late in his career. There's a lot going on here, Denise. I want to know how you felt about all of it.
No, okay, so I'm so happy that Rey Mysterio won this. First of all, it was a good match. It was a decent match. I'm so happy that he won because, after losing to Brock Lesnar and, the match wasn't all that. It really wasn't all that. So I think that this was a good way to sort of rehab him and, not have him basically just go back down and get lost in a shuffle. Like, it's Rey Mysterio, man. Like, let's do something with him. Like, he's going out there and he's killing it. Like, he's been killing it with his promos. He's been killing it, obviously with what he does inside the ring. And so I think that this is a good way to sort of, make sure that he doesn't get lost somewhere down there and is, still doing something with the U.S. title. And so now I'm looking forward to see how they're going to move forward with him like this. And I just think that, I just really didn't think AJ really needed the bout, to be honest. Like, he's AJ Styles. Like, we were still going to be like for him or whatever. Whatever he does, it works, whether he's a heel, whether he's a face, whatever. I think right now that what he's doing right now with the OC was kind of taking precedence over him, really defending the U.S. title or really having it mean something for him. It can mean something more, I think, for somebody else right now.
I am in complete agreement with you. Asuka defeated Charlotte Flair. I just get the feeling that the crowd was exhausted.
It was a long match.
It was a long match, and you know what? I thought it was a good match, but the crowd was dead. And 4 nights of wrestling in a row for a match that doesn't have stakes, as good as Asuka is, as good as Charlotte is, and as good as Kairi is. But Charlotte took Kairi out early on. Why is Kairi so scared of Charlotte? They're not wrestling one another, and Kairi's a very good wrestler. Also, she'd have a 2-on-1 advantage anyway. The thing I learned most about this is Kairi Sane runs real goddamn fast. She's very fast. And she booked it out of there. But the crowd, like I said, is dead. It wasn't great early on. Charlotte hit a big boot. The strikes picked up a little bit after the commercial, and so did the crowd. Again, the work isn't bad, but they woke up when Charlotte hit a spear off of a head kick from Asuka. But then Charlotte plays dumbass babyface and is worried more about Kairi Sane, throws her into the post. You get the green mist and the roll-up. At what point does the ref just wise up to this? Because they're burying the refs with this. Because Asuka's always winning with this. Also, your babyface looks dumb. And
it should be a DQ, okay?
Yeah.
Like, the misting should be a DQ. Like, there's no, like, come on, like, there's no way around it. You know, it's super obvious. Like, the fact that, you know, even if, like, you know, she were to do it, behind the ref's back, okay, fine. But then the ref's gonna turn around, see all this green mist everywhere. Come on, like, just call it a DQ. That way, you know, maybe it can mean more if she does it, you know, at separate moments where she does it because she was really desperate and just wanted to get out of a match or whatever. So yeah, I just think that, yeah, the crowd wasn't into it, and I think it's because definitely there was really no reason for us to, you know, really be excited about it. It was like, yeah, we like these two girls. We know they're both good workers, and they're going to have a good match together. But other than, and then it was funny, too, because it was a really good Raw match, and it's kind of the matches that you want to see on Raw. But yeah, it wasn't like a pay-per-view match or anything like that, but it went really long, kind of like if it was going to be like giving us that pay-per-view match vibe, you know?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I kind of felt like there was just something missing with the whole thing. For that specific ending, the match could have been a lot shorter.
The two women's divisions, Raw and SmackDown, they're really feeling the injuries right now because you have a great character like Alexa Bliss who's sidelined, and that's a bummer. But, like, think about this. Ruby Riott, Naomi, Mickie James, Ember Moon. None of those women necessarily had big pushes, but those are 4 excellent workers that they don't have the benefit of. I mean, you mean to tell me that Raw or SmackDown couldn't benefit from having Ember Moon and Ruby Riott just added to that roster? Or Naomi and Mickie James on SmackDown, plus Nia Jax, who has always been a heavily pushed character, missing too. And if you got Nia Jax back, you have the team of Tamina and Nia Jax back on SmackDown. Injuries have unfortunately hampered this division. And with 4 of the top workers in the division sidelined, that also hurts. And it gets a lot of redundant stuff like the same finishes every week. They're not using Liv Morgan on TV. Lana isn't wrestling, so you can't use her. Natalya has been pushed up and pushed down and pushed up and pushed down so many times. They're not interested in the Iconics. They've buried them over the past few months. It's rough. They got to build somebody else. And I mean, I know when they're expecting Ruby Riott back, and since Liv and Sarah are on Raw, I assume that Ruby will be on Raw, and that'll be a nice shot in the arm. But do you see any possible answer for this in the short term, at least?
Honestly, I would probably just say, you know, I think for a while I remember there was a period where we were seeing a lot of like multiple women matches, and it wasn't really focused on, one woman versus one woman, a singles match, a single storyline. We weren't really seeing that. We were always seeing every woman's match had to have every other woman thrown into that.
Yeah.
So I think as a positive to, being slimmed with the roster right now, let's have those single focus like we would the men, let's have those focuses, whether it's just on Charlotte or Asuka or whatever, like just have the focus on them, and just kind of use that to strengthen up right now that they're lacking, more women.
Worth noting, no Becky Lynch tonight. Of course, no Brock Lesnar tonight. The Street Profits did not wrestle tonight either. So some pretty solid names that have been on the show quite a bit that were not used tonight. And I think that's okay. Not everybody needs to be on the show every week.
Yeah, it's kind of like a break. It's refreshing. When they come back, you're not like as monotone to seeing the same thing over and over.
Yeah. Reminder, guys, send a super chat if you want your question or statement read live on the air. We are on podcast platforms everywhere all the time. But if you want to support us directly, check out FightfulSelect.com. I have a ton of stuff over there. Like, for example, this weekend I had Eric Bischoff explaining that he had nothing to do with the Roman Reigns whodunit angle. I had a bit of a response from Corey Graves about the Mauro Ranallo situation. I reached out to him. I had TK O'Ryan of Ring of Honor talking about the Ring of Honor controversy and the concussion situation. I have a couple big Ring of Honor related stories that don't look so hot for some people coming to Fightful Select this week. Gosh, what else do we have? Live blogs over there, some behind-the-scenes footage. I had a spoiler on Dominic Mysterio being there for Survivor Series. Just lots of stuff, lots of notes. The finish of SmackDown that didn't go down as planned. Go over there, subscribe. In addition to all the podcasts and supporting us, by God, FightfulSelect.com. We have not gotten a break from Eric Rowan. The jobber that he faces tries to look in his bag, and then he gets beaten.
That was that. When are we going to know what's in the bag? I did like how, you're in this match with this big, scary guy, but you're more tempted to go see what's in the bag. It's like, what are you doing? Go focus over there.
I get it, because it's only been like 3 weeks, and I'm already like, what's in the bag? So I get it, man.
When you were saying the whole daddy thing, that was funny and weird.
Yeah.
Like, oh, daddy this. I was like, ew.
Aaron J's fan, a good friend of the website, says, how long do you think Becky will be champ for? I think until at least WrestleMania. I think they're going to give her a full year, and I think they should because, I mean, my God, she earned that reign.
I think until she's just not that hot anymore and she isn't, maybe moving the needle how they want her to move the needle, and until somebody else kind of, maybe takes some Becky notes and, gets themselves up to that main spot. I think until then the title will be taken off of her.
Have you ever heard of the old Hogan must pose rule?
Yes.
It's something that Bruce Pritchard brings up on his podcast about how back in the day, no matter what Hogan did, no matter what happened on the show, Hogan had to pose at the end to show he was the biggest star. It very much felt like that last night to close Survivor Series. And if Vince McMahon is at a Becky must pose situation, well, I think she's doing all right then. I think she's doing all right. Kevin Owens defeated Seth Rollins via DQ in the main event. Rollins gets perturbed early on and grabs a chair, but the ref stops it. I just love how gotten to Seth Rollins is by all this, because it does play up to his criticisms that he faces on social media. Everybody says he's too sensitive and gotten to, and he's playing that up. He got kicked one time and he rolled out and he's like, I got to get a chair and hit this guy with it. I think it fits really well, Denise. What'd you think of his performance in the match from that regard?
Well, the match itself I really enjoyed, actually. But, I've never had any issue with Seth's matches. His matches have always been good, I've always liked his matches. I thought that's one of the things that always, kind of really kept him up there for me. And so now it's just kind of working on the character stuff where it's like, let's make this more tolerable, I do like the fact that they're incorporating, his real life social media persona with what he's doing on camera. And, I think it was kind of about time, because it's kind of silly to have everybody hate you on one place and then pretend to cheer you in another place. Like, that's just not going to work. You can't cheer someone who's, you're not really agreeing with what they're saying on social media. It's just two different, it's apples and oranges. So I just think that now with the direction that they're going with Seth Rollins, or how it looks like they might be going, I think that it will actually make it more entertaining to where I will want to hear what Seth Rollins is going to say the next time that he has a mic.
So Rollins' suicide dive looked better tonight. He got his knees up on the swanton. Owens hits a DDT. Then Owens hit a great swanton on the floor. Frog splash. Rollins sets up for the stomp, but gets caught with a pop-up powerbomb. Then we see the stunner countered. They throw some kicks at one another. Stunner by Owens, and both men are down. But then AOP come out after they've been criticized by Rollins, and I kind of knew what was going on here. What I didn't want to happen, I didn't want them to attack both, and they didn't. They attacked Kevin Owens attacked them, so he gave him a reason, and they didn't attack Seth, even though he was egging him on. Crowd didn't like this finish. Creatively, I loved the finish. What did you think?
I think that definitely glad that he didn't beat both of them up, or that he didn't just that AOP didn't beat up both Owens and Seth Rollins. And I like the fact that they didn't just go right ahead and say yeah, we're a team now. No, it should be a build up towards this, because they were essentially insulted at the top of the show, with you guys weren't even at Survivor Series, that sort of thing. So I think that it should take a couple of weeks to sort of tease this, and eventually, like I said earlier, have them come up to have them become a unit together. And it seems like it almost felt like they were going to attack Seth Rollins, but there was no reaction from the crowd for that portion. There was sort of like, are they going to do it? Are they going to not? But I don't think the crowd was like, oh, is it going to happen? No, it was more just like, okay, is this going to happen? So yeah, I just think that it's pretty interesting because I didn't expect AOP to sort of come out and be part of this at the end of the show. But this really gives, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago where Seth Rollins came out on Raw and he was saying oh, what's next? What's going to be next? And I thought to myself, man, he's right. What is next for Seth Rollins? And so now seeing this is, better.
Yeah, these are total Vince guys too. That's why I could tell they were not being used on TV because they didn't want to job them out. And it's a condemnation of your own creative if you don't put people on the air because you can't find anything with them and make them look strong. And it's very obvious that's what that is. We have a ton of super chats to end this out. Tank Bear Claw says, get that hundo. Yes, we've got a ton of super chats. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot that you all are supporting us so much. Hannah Moore, one of our great mods and friends, says, here's my fourth and final tonight. Love Fightful. Jason Zach says, Zach, but with an E, not check. Okay, my bad. Shane Haas sent $20 Canadian and says, thanks again, Sean and Denise. Here's my 75 cents Canadian. Jeff Hardy on Firefly Funhouse. No, Jeff Hardy's not going to be around for a little bit. He's tending to his personal stuff right now, as he should. And that's a good thing. That is a very good thing. And Tank Bearclaw says, do you think the non-finishes are too frequent? I think they certainly have been since the brand warfare started, Denise. And carrying it over tonight, I think it was just the cherry on top. It was a little bit too much, and this crowd was like, come on.
Yeah, but if you keep doing that, at some point people are not going to care about matches because we need to see solid wins. We need there to be stakes. I need there to be a reason for me to be excited for this match because I really want my guy, my pick to win. But it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if the finish doesn't matter, then why do I care,
I agree. Denise, tell the people where they can find you.
As always, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. I've been editing videos and getting ready to post them up because I'm 3 weeks behind on life right now. So just FYI, I'm catching up with my life from 3 weeks ago right now.
You've been slammed. You've been,
yes.
Every time I see you post something on Facebook, you're somewhere else,
I'm just blah right now. I don't even know where, I'm presently places, but my brain is in other places. So anyways, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo, Instagram and Twitter @_Denise Salcedo.
If you guys are in Winston-Salem, North Carolina this weekend, I'll be there. Jeremy Lambert will be there. We're going to get a bunch of interviews. We're going to get a lot of content. Come say hi to us. I'll probably be way too tall for you guys to take a picture with, but you can come say hi anyway. Thank you guys so much. You all were super generous in the super chat. Do you want to be a little bit more generous? Check out FightfulSelect.com. It's my baby right now. We're working so hard on it. Thank you guys so much. Until next time, we're out.